Hello, YouTube, and welcome to my channel. If you're back, welcome back. If you're new, I hope that you find something here that prompts you to become a part of our little family that's forming here. Today, I am in the middle of a whip. I haven't had her out since I started her. And a whip stands for work in progress. So you grab your whip, your work in progress. It could be a diamond painting, it could be some needlepoint crochet, painting, or you can just listen along like you would a podcast. That's what I do. I have hundreds of YouTubers that I follow, and when I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing during the day, YouTube is always on, and I'm always listening to something or someone. So what do we got here? We have today this beauty. I did a little shorty on her a few days ago. I was not feeling well. I've been battling a migraine for the past few days, and I haven't been at my desk, and I was grateful that I had one video that was like in the docket that I could have got out there, but I have not had this out since I started her. I'll have to look and see when that last videotaping was, but I started this canvas right smack in the middle because I am just giving myself permission to listen to myself these days and to start where I want to start. And this is where I wanted to start. And I'm so happy that I did, because watching this beauty unfold, this beautiful canvas, and her, the focal point of the canvas, unfold, is just so pleasing to me. I love looking at this. I love this. I love this canvas. This was my first Diamond Art unboxing, my first piece of Diamond Art Club purchase, and I was just overwhelmed at the beauty of this canvas when I did the unboxing. And so if I'm getting this done, which I'm really enjoying, the rest is all gravy. It's all, it looks like a lot of color blocking, and it is, but there is some confetti mixed in. So I am at today on the, I'm trying to see if I got you in here. I don't know why there has to be so many buttons on the main screen. It just drives me crazy. So I am up in here at this little face that's just starting to come alive. There's just like a little mini outline here of his face that's starting to unfold. And so that's where we're going to pick up at. I have my pen, this gorgeous pen that I just purchased from Leopard Leather Works, and my Firefly tray, and my favorite wax. I wish I would have done this on camera, because when I went to go load my placer, which is a skinny placer, I got this from Amazon, these skinny placers. I'll place a link. I need a little bit more on the end here. I am ordering the ones from Diamond Art Club, but I want to make a canvas purchase, because to pay $10 in shipping just for the placers, I'm not doing that. So I'll just add their placers on when I make another purchase, which I'm sure is going to be sometime soon, especially with Lindsay from Emeralds and Fairy Dust. It just dropped, I think it was today. It might have been today when I've been like in a migraine haze. I think it was today that she dropped the information about, what is it? She's got a Christmas little segment coming up from November to December 25th. Oh, what is it? Is it Chills and Draws? No, that's this, right? Drills. Is it? It's like it rhymes with drills, like jingles and drills. Am I right? Oh my God, I am so sorry. Like I said, I've been in a migraine haze for a couple of days here. And okay, so I loaded my pen with my favorite wax from Dreamer Design. And what I love about this wax is that it's like a wax and a putty. And when I was loading this, it was kind of pulling like a putty, but it's really awesome. I did check to see if they sold just the wax, and it just comes with a diamond toolkit. I don't know. I mean, I have 2 canvases from them already that are Christmas canvases, but I don't know if they will qualify for what Lindsay is doing, and I will be a part of that. I think that they would. I mean, they are Christmas scenes, but she said if you had any doubts if it would qualify, then get something else. They are her instructions, and it reminded of me, like when I would be like just totally overwhelmed with my staff. I would be like, if you think it's wrong, then it's wrong. And so it was really cute. Anyway, I need to pull this down towards me. I have a big desk, and get him towards me so that I can work on him. Probably should have did this earlier, but I wanted you guys to see the full canvas here. I'm gonna pull him down just a wee bit more. I can actually do this and then just edit it out. I don't know why I get so nervous about this stuff when I'm taping. Okay. Oh my gosh, he's such a beauty. Oh my God, look at that face starting to come alive here. Let me get you as close as I can. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. I mean, just the way this whole canvas has unfolded, there's just so much detail to it. Even though I am doing a fair amount of color blocking, there's still a lot of detail to it. It's just absolutely beautiful. Excuse my hand, getting my tray. How is everyone doing? Please tell me something good. Tell me something I don't know, which is a lot, so your choice. I am doing this canvas called the Winter Fox, and I had a winter coffee mug all ready to go. But with the migraine, even the smell of coffee is just making me, I'm like, oh, will I ever be able to drink coffee again? Of course you will. But just not today. And I also have my staging area up for the next What's in the Cup. And I just can't even bear to smell coffee right now. It's so bizarre to me because I love coffee so much. So I am going to try and get that up by Friday, the second episode of What's in the Cup. But actually, you know, what I had for today was a winter cup, and it's 85 degrees here. So it seems a little off. So instead I have my big cup full of water, and I have, that cup I just got yesterday from Aldi's, which is just awesome. I think I got this for like $5 over at Aldi. It's awesome. It's just, oh my God, I love it. Love Aldi. Taking a sip. And so that's what's been going on with me past couple of days. I just could not get out of bed. I don't get migraines. It's something that my mother has suffered from most of her life. What we got going on here? But I don't get them. And I got one, and I'll tell you, just like knocked me out. I just couldn't, I couldn't stand the smell of anything. It wasn't so much light. I know people complain about light, but I couldn't stay awake. I couldn't focus. Everything was just making me really tired. If I tried to watch something on TV, which, you know, not that I'm happy, but I was a little relieved that Drills and Chills didn't happen this weekend. Both Katie and Lindsay took a weekend off, which I suspected that they were going to do because Diamond Art Club had such a huge Halloween drop, and I think they both did sneak peeks. So kudos to them for taking some time to rest and just say, you know what, we need to regroup and recharge, and we're going to take this time. I know they both have children and, you know, obligations with family, and your kiddos come first, of course. And so I was like, oh God, I don't have to do like my week 5 Drills and Chills Haunted. Even though she's coming along, I'm probably going to get her done right on time when the event ends because I'm not rushing it. I'm just giving myself permission again. There goes that phrase again, giving myself permission to, I've never done more than one diamond painting at a time. And this time around, I had bought this kit right when I started diamond painting like 4 months ago.
and I was so eager. I just couldn't wait to get her out of the box. Like, I just thought, well, this is going to be my winter jam. This is what I'm going to be doing here. But I was like, no, I'm ready to start it now. So I'm just going to do it. And like I said, I love these colors, how they're so, in the same color group, and how they just complement one another. The color changes are subtle. Like if you look at the color next to this one, this looks like a cream, and this looks like cream with a little spot of coffee in it. It's just so subtle, and it just makes those little changes, just come alive. It's like a shading almost. Whoops. I'm loving this pen. I love the height of it. I love the short pen too. My short pen from Enabler's Outpost. But I love the length of this pen. And I have to tell you, I had forgotten I bought these skinny placers. They were just kind of hanging out on my tray here. And they're doing the job. I mean, they're not metal, but I like having a multi-placer that's long. Like this is an 11 for the way that I diamond paint. I like picking up multiple drills, even if they're not all going in the same spot, and like kind of dotting them around where they have to go. I don't really do that on camera because I'm nervous enough on camera, and I don't want to like have people say, well, what the hell is she doing? Why is she picking up all those drills and she's just making a mess? But when I'm diamond painting privately, I do. I'm a little bit more relaxed than I am in front of a camera to do all this. And if I was alone, what would I be doing? Well, I'd probably have something on YouTube. Sometimes I put Spotify on. Sometimes I listen to a book. I haven't really done an Audible book, and it has been a while. And I'll tell you how I know. Because the last two really took me on an adventure. I listened to, and it's still hot today. If it comes on TV, I have to stop what I'm doing and watch it. I listened to Gone Girl, and there were, it was read just the way that it was written, with male and female parts. So they had a female who was outstanding. Oh, God, she had, whatever her character was going through was reflected in her voice. I'm like, this girl has to be on Broadway. And of course she was. She was a trained actor. Her diction was beautiful. The inflections in her voice, everything was wonderful. And then to have the male part read by a male, because sometimes it's like one person reading everybody's part, and it's good. I mean, who did I listen to? Oh, I know who it was. Kate Winslet. She read a book, and she did male, female, old woman. She was amazing. She did a really good job. And the other book that I read and also listened to through Audible was The Martian. And the gentleman that read The Martian was excellent. So it's been a while. It's been a while. And I like to read things that kind of reflect on my diamond painting. A lot of times I'm just, maybe listening to a meditative type of lecture that's on, maybe somebody like Mark Nepo, who I enjoy. I love his book, Book of Awakening. Someone with like an inspirational type of message, because you can get lost in yourself when you're diamond painting. Diamond painting does lend itself to be a meditative art where, you kind of get lost in your thoughts. I know I have some of my best ideas when I'm by myself and I'm diamond painting and I'm just listening to the sound of my own voice. If you think about how often that happens in your life, where everything is just quiet and you get to listen to what is right for you. That's that little voice inside you that always knows what to do. So I do enjoy that, being alone and, maybe mulling some things over and trying to get some clarity or answers or saying a prayer, setting an intention. It's a wonderful time with your diamond painting to do that. And so, I'm sure like when I'm doing my Christmas diamond painting, or I know that I just saw it. I think was it on Prime? What was it on? Oh, what is it? I think it's maybe Apple TV. Like when you scroll down, it's like, oh, we think you might like, and of course, what was on there, the Great Pumpkin, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. So, when I take my drills and chills out and I do Haunted, I'll have that on in the background. I think that'll be fun. It's fun to like mix these things together, where you have like a little Halloween show on in the background while you do your little witch. And I did see also the Peanuts Thanksgiving special. And there's a little meme on, I think you could probably find it on YouTube, of the Peanuts gang. And they did a little meme of them from Goodfellas, where Peppermint Patty is Joe Pesci. and Marcy is playing Ray Liotta's part. It is one of the funniest. Oh my gosh. Like even Snoopy doesn't know what to do. He's like kind of looking around at like, oh, well, this is about to get out of hand here. I love when, cartoons come together with things like movies. I thought I was the only one that had never seen The Godfather. My husband called every one of his friends right before we were married. He said, oh, you want to watch The Godfather? It's on? I'm like, no. He's like, why? I'm like, because I don't watch mob movies. I don't like them. And they make me uneasy. It's like a bunch of screaming and killing and viciousness. It's not me, And he's like, you've never seen The Godfather? I'm like, nope, never seen it. Don't want to see it. Don't care to see it. Love everybody in it. Just still don't want to see it. I did watch the one show that was based on the book. I can't think of what the name of it was. It was just out recently. It was based on Mario Puzo's writing The Godfather and getting The Godfather to production. And so he called all his friends and told them how, I never saw The Godfather. And they were like, oh my God, you can't marry this girl. Can you imagine? There was a scene like that from another movie. I think it was called Diner, where the fiance was being quizzed about baseball. He wouldn't marry her until she knew all these facts about baseball. Oh my God. And so there was the scene from Family Guy where I don't know what was going on. I don't really watch Family Guy either. My husband watches that. And there was a scene where, I don't know, they were like drowning and they were talking about movies for some reason, and they were all saying how much they love The Godfather. And who's the main guy in Family Guy? What the heck's his name? I think I want to say Homer, but I don't think I'm right. And he's like, oh, I never saw it. And they were like, what? Lois. I know the wife's name, Lois. You never seen it? He's like, no. How could you not? It's one of the greatest movies ever made. And he's like, well, it insists upon itself. It insists upon itself. Is that not the greatest line you've ever heard? It insists upon itself. I really don't know. I swear. I mean, these past few days that I have been out of it. Oh, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm just squishing everything around. These past few days that I've been out of it, I had no idea that even Brooklyn was underwater. Holy cow. That's my old stomping ground, Carroll Street. Beautiful street. I had thought about originally putting Petalbell there instead of Manhattan. And holy cow, I mean, flooding and raining and you know, people getting out of subway cars and finding that they're in a swimming pool. And you know, wasn't just that I have a migraine. It was also that, you know, I just don't have the TV on, and you know, I really honestly always do have YouTube on. I'm always, you know, just keeping myself away from these things that are going on that are just like, can really like zap your energy, or, you know, prayers to Brooklyn, of course. But I just missed it. You know, I just didn't have an idea of what was going on. And I don't know. I think that sometimes those things, I thank God don't have family there. Most of my family is on the island of Staten. You know, but they were hit with Sandy, and they're still recuperating from that. That was a mess. And when I lived in Manhattan, I lived along the promenade, and you know, the Hudson River, let me tell you, can get scary at times, you know. And I had moved out of Battery Park, and that's when I moved to the West Village. I always liked being near the water, but I really didn't enjoy it that much when I was in New York. I just didn't. We had that whole thing with the airplane landing on the Hudson, Scully. You know, that was frightening. I did witness that. We had another injury with a small plane. You know, I believe it was either a baseball player that was killed along the Hudson. Oh my God, please. I don't even want to talk about it. I just, let's change the subject here. Shall we? Look at how cute his little face is coming along. I would love to know what everybody's working on. And some of your ideas for the holidays. What's everybody doing? I can't believe it's October. But it's October the 4th already, you know. It's just blowing by so quickly. I'm already starting to think about, I know I'm having a Christmas party in my home. I get together with friends, but I don't know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving. My son has the type of job where, you know, he works for the overtime. He's in a casino. And casinos are crowded on the holidays. A lot of times people, you know, the older crowd, they've done their turkeys, and kids are gone, families of their own, and you know, they got a few hours to spend. They go to the casino. Why not? And what is this here? Why does this not look right? No, that's the color. Wow. It doesn't look like that color on the chart. First time that I've gotten a color that doesn't look like the color on the chart, because this is more like a green. This looks more like a beige. I'm starting to wonder, like, if I have the right, yeah, that's an R. Right? I gotta double check now. I gotta make sure. What do we do? Nope, that's an R. It just doesn't look like, this looks more like a beige. And this looks more like an army green. That's really crazy. Okay, I'm going with it. I don't think that it could be anything else. Now I'm starting to wonder. I'm going to just double check that I have the right drills in here. I don't think I've used this color before. That's why I'm looking. And it doesn't look like a color where... No, I don't have an extra packet of it, and that's all there was. It was a small packet, so... Yeah, that's it. That's the color. Wow. Okay. Always double check. You know, better to be safe than sorry. Like I'm saying, it doesn't look like a color match to the chart, but that's what it is. And I had very few packets that had very little drills, and they were all in the face. So this has got to be right. If it's not, we pull them off. That's all. If it's not right, that's all there is of this color. Okay, so I guess it makes sense. Is that sticking up? These drills are so shiny. They're so dimensional and shiny and brilliant that a lot of times, you know, I can't really even see because they're reflecting off the light that I'm working with if they're down all the way. And I mean, they are most of the time, but sometimes they are sticking straight up. They're not touching the canvas. That's bizarre. Maybe I'll do like this little accent here just to stay in that area for a second, because this is another color that I have not used. Yeah, that's probably the right color because this is a darker green. Okay, all right. And really there's just a few. I mean, probably could have just picked them out of here, but another thing about doing this canvas today on October the 4th, the Winter Fox, is that it's 85 degrees outside. It is 85 degrees. I just went for a long walk before I sat down to do this because I needed to get some air before, you know, I've been cooped up for a couple of days with the migraine, and it would have been really easy for me just to say, I know, like, you know, let me just do a little bit of work and then zone out again. I'm not really getting anything around the house done. Little things, not major things that I usually do. You know, my daily routines of stuff. But, you know, I got up and made the bed. That was a plus for me. And did some other small things around the house. But then I was like, I have to go out and go for a walk and get some air. And I was like, oh my God, it's so hot out here. And then I checked and it was like, oh, it's 85 degrees. Oh, no wonder why. No wonder why it's hot. I did, when I was able to keep my eyes open, I started a new series on Amazon Prime called The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. And Sigourney Weaver plays a major part in it. And I like series because I can, you know, watch one at a time. I could power watch. I did that with Invasion, and like I'm jonesing for tonight because tonight it will drop to see what the next, you know, episode is going to bring. But this is really good. The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. and it revolves around a little girl that goes to live with her grandmother after a tragedy in her family. And it's so interesting. And there's like a lot of mystery already. Like there's a lot of, that's the wrong spot. There's a lot of answers yet. There's a lot of mystery. I thought they would start to get cleared up in the second episode, but I kept falling asleep on the second episode. I just could not keep my eyes open. And like, oh, I'm learning how to give myself permission. Now I got to learn how to listen to myself. Because when I'm tired, I fight it. It's like, I really didn't do anything today. And, you know, at least let me just watch this show and feel like I did something today other than just lay in this bed and sleep. But hey, you got a headache. You know, you're nauseous. You can't hold food down. Like, give yourself a break. This is what I would tell anyone. And yet I can't receive this message for myself. And I'm really like on this journey of self-exploration to find out, well, where does this come from? Where you know better, you know, but you're not doing better. You know that your body needs to recharge and it needs to rejuvenate itself. And, you know, you can't go anywhere with an empty tank, you know. Why are you constantly pushing yourself? Why can't you just honor the fact that your body needs to rest? I don't know. I've always had this issue with time and being very productive and not wasting time and, you know, making the most of every minute, you know. And so it can be debilitating when, you are the type of person that can't seem to give yourself permission to rest when you need to. Now I said here because I happen to mix my black drills in with my brown ones, and the video that I just dropped had to do with that very subject. I was working on Foxy Lady, and the colors there are gorgeous. I love that canvas so much. It is just a joyful canvas. It is, it's a rainbow of color. But the colors are very close to one another. Like this was color 701 and 702, and was like chartreuse green and light chartreuse green. And they were almost, you couldn't decipher between the two. And when I went to empty my tray, I picked up the wrong container and I mixed the two colors together. I mixed it with the black, or I mixed the brown with the black. And, do I have too many on here? Yes, I do. I take those opportunities to get my little aligner out. This is what I did in the previous video. Get my little aligner out and dump the drills and sort them. And, you know, again, it's a meditative moment with diamond painting that we can take to, maybe it's a practice in patience, you know, or maybe it's like, you know, do you need to take a break? You know, did you just pick this up by accident, or are you tired? Are you rushing? Are you, you know, like what's going on? Do you need to go get a glass of water? Do you need to stretch? Do you need to rest your eyes? But when I use that little aligner for that purpose, it's kind of mesmerizing in a way, you know, it's kind of relaxing. I always found that things that I took the time to sort, like I used to like to sort the change in the restaurant, like everything would get dropped and I would sort the change. So, you know, sorting quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies was relaxing to my mind because I was putting things in order. Same thing with counting money and having to do the drop, and just finding that, it was relaxing for me. So that's relaxing for me when I take the drills out and I'm sorting them between black and brown, which I'm going to keep this on the side because I'm going to do that after I get done filming here. I'll have a little meditative moment for myself where I sort through my drills that are mixed up. And I think that that's why, one of the reasons why diamond painting, you hear people that are, that have anxiety, and they talk about how diamond painting relaxes them. Well, there's really nothing to think about when you're diamond painting. The work has been done for you. The colors have been chosen. It's been charted out for you, and all you have to do is take the drills and line them up and place them on the canvas and create order and create beauty out of chaos, in a way. And I think that that's why so many diamond painters that have anxiety or maybe other mental health issues, like myself, I suffer from anxiety. Things can spiral. I can feel, I get that floating anxiety, which is scary to me at times, and I would always try and get something to take my mind off of it, and always organizing something made me feel less anxious. Putting things in order. Nope, that's correct. Making order out of chaos made me feel more relaxed. I think I'm right along the washi tape here, so I'm going to not go there. These need to be moved over a little tiny bit. I have my windows to my front door are tinted. No one can see in. So no one knows that my front door is open, but my screen door is locked. My security door is locked, but that security window is tinted. And so no one can see in, but I can see out. There was just someone on my step. And it wasn't delivery. But we've been having a problem with theft. And unfortunately, the last big theft that we had in this neighborhood, where packages were going missing from the steps, was from the children getting out of school that, see packages on the step, and they figure, well, I'm going to help myself here to this homeowner's packages. I just... I don't know. I was so afraid of my parents. I was afraid of my neighbors too. My neighbors were just as good as your parents. Like, if you were doing something that you shouldn't have been doing and the neighbor was out, you best believe your mother was going to hear about it. If you had people over the house while they were at work, oh yeah. Your mother was getting a phone call. You were getting written up. They were writing a slip on you, the neighbors. Like, I wouldn't, I know, some kids, they dare you to do this or dare you to do that. We got dared as kids. But I would never rob anything off of somebody's step. And they got my packages. And so now I have to think of an alternative to delivery. I know I had my diamond painting waiting for me over at the UPS center. I was like, don't even deliver it. I'll come and get it from you. Because I would have freaked out if anybody took my diamond painting. If anybody took my diamond painting, I would have freaked out. I need a little bit more wax. Where did I put my wax at? Here we go. I think I may have had essential oils in this tip and from one of the other waxes, and that just creates a barrier with all your other waxes. They just slip out after. Oh my gosh, I love watching this little face develop over here. So cute. Little foxy face. Okay, everything's coming out.
Oh, I am videotaping. There was just an emergency alert that I knew was coming. I don't. How long was that videotaping? I have no idea. All right, let's continue, shall we?
That was frightening for a moment. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Okay.
So that was scary. That was from FEMA, an emergency alert that I knew was coming. You know, I put it in my phone, and you know, what did I decide to do? Sit down, make a film, make a video, do a whip and chat. Oh my God. It must have been that long walk that I had earlier. My brain stopped working. It really was a nice walk. Oh, these are the days I love. Like the last days of summer, right before the fall comes in. You know, you just have time to like relish. Because I think really no matter how much you know summer, if you live in, live with the seasons like I do on the East Coast, no matter how much you know that the fall is coming and that summer's going to be ending, it just seems to kind of come out of the blue. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, the fall weather is here, it's upon us. Everything is pumpkin this and maple that, and I need to straighten these out a little bit. I'm going to use my aligner here. I'm just feeling like they're going every which way. They're making me a little dizzy looking at them. And I don't go all the way down. Sometimes you have to, because they're like so they're so zigzag. Now this one's popping up. That will be replaced. Oh, that's H. That's why it looked a little off. I was like, that color looks off. Here it is. Best to get it now when you see that it's if it looks a little off, like that's a little off there. Best to get it now, because every line after is just going to be the same way. It's going to be a little messy. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of my appetite back. Or I'm just craving sweets. My son came over with those maple leaf cookies with vanilla cream filling and like right now. I'm like jonesing for one. It's on my staging area for what's in the cup. So I let a little bit out of what's in the for the next what's in the cup. So I let you have like a little sneak peek. I'm excited about the next what's in the cup because I'm excited about everyone that I have planned on filming. You know, I did my grandmother's coffee with the first one. I'm so happy that I made hers my first video to make because, you know, that's where I learned to love coffee. You know, I believe anyway, you know, my first memory of like that aroma wafting through the house and, you know, just the ritual of it, you know, my grandmother, you know, measuring the water and, you know, the pinch of salt over the grounds of coffee. And, am I okay here? Okay. You know, the aroma through the house. You know, just all of it is just, and one of my friends, when she saw what's in the cup, we grew up together and she was like, oh boy, she's like, you brought back such memories of my mother's coffee pot. And I miss my mom's coffee. Pert coffee is the best. That I had to go out and get a coffee pot from Amazon to, you know, have Pert coffee. And I don't know, I seem to always see these coffee pots when I am out doing my thrift shopping. And you know, I do a lot of vintage shopping, and I always manage to see one of these Corningware coffee pots. And, you know, I know people go crazy for them. I usually don't pick them up because I have my mother's, I have my grandmother's. My mother just gave me all her old Corningware. I have a few pieces that were my grandmother's, and my grandmother was also famous for Tupperware. So I have pieces of Tupperware that they just don't even have anymore. Oh God. And still in great shape. I have the pitcher with the 4 matching tumblers that are just seasonal. I mean, they're mustard color and green and brown. What other ones? I have her cheese grinder that looked like a windmill. And you would grate the cheese and it would stay inside, and then you would take the lid off and shake it on. And then you could store it that way in the refrigerator. I have that. I have her little lunch meat tray where she would put all her, when she bought her lunch meats, she would put them away in that little container. And that container always came out. Oh, she had like a charcuterie one too. She had one that was where she would store all her sliced pepperoni and cheeses and olives and pickles. And, you know, when she was entertaining, whether it was a card game or company come over, she would put that out as pickies. So I remember that every year that was out. That was on the holiday table, that Tupperware full of that little charcuterie tray that she had. What else do I have of my grandmother's? I have so much of her stuff. And I use it. I adore it.
We left off with an emergency broadcast twice that can easily be edited out. And so I am going to just allow the rest of this video to just play out. I'm getting totally frustrated. If this frustration going on right now, you know, best laid plans and nothing is coming together today. And I don't want to lose all the footage that I already did. And so I'm just going to let this play out quietly so I can get my peace of mind back. And hopefully that's a lesson for you guys. Oh, look how pretty she looks. Oh, next to her little foxy baby. Okay, where are we? I think I completed that before everything went crazy with the broadcast. And I am dreading the next color because I know what the next color is. And I believe that they are kind of clumped together. Oh, I did my best yesterday to run these through one of these little drills here. And unstick them. So I might have to use that again. And I even have a piece of dryer sheet in there. So hopefully everybody is not fist fighting with each other to get again. And you could just tell by the way that they come out like one big clump. Oh, it's so frustrating because they weren't like this throughout the whole time that I was painting with them. And then it's like all of a sudden they just get clumpy. And my 2 cents worth, my 2 pennies is that the weather change where you had that humidity and like everything was just sticking together. And I believe that that's probably what was happening here also, but we're going to do our best. That's all we can do. Talk about a struggle bus today. It was a rough whip. I guess I'm still not feeling that well, and I apologize for that. But I'm gonna let you see our little fox all done. Here he is. There he goes, right there before my video for some reason times out. I don't know.